Softball, Jersey style, up next on Carpe Diem. Hello, welcome to Carpe Diem. I'm Nick Sanis. No coach in the history of Montclair State Athletics has won more games than Anita Kubicka. Entering her 24th season this year, Coach Kubicka has compiled a record of 754, 250, and 2, a 750 career winning percentage, which ranks among the best in NCAA Division III history. To talk about this, the future of the team, and all things softball is Anita Kubicka. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Nick.
It's great. I'm so excited that you're here. Preseason polls just came out last week. Montclair's rated #2. Your thoughts about that?
We're #2 in the country. We haven't stepped out on the field yet. A lot of it is respect from last year and the finish that we had. In fact, last year we were ranked 2nd, 3rd, and we didn't play a game yet, and we jumped to #1. So we must have had some great practices.
That was a great season.
That all of a sudden we were #1 in the ranking. So this year it's based on what you did and who you have returning, and the #2 ranking just means that there's respect for the program at Montclair State.
That's a wonderful thing. Earlier this week we went out and we shot some footage and we put together a package. So why don't we take a look and feature your players?
Thanks.
We've worked hard all fall on conditioning and things like that in the weight room, and now we're doing the same thing over again and just working hard and trying our best to be at where we were last year.
We all are good hitters. It's just think we need to work on meshing that together and hitting solidly and getting runs scoring through everyone hitting collectively rather than one hit scattered and then another hit. So I think that's something we should work on.
Our team chemistry is really good, and I think that's a big part of our success is we all respect each other and really genuinely like each other, so that helps us win games. Our goals for the end of the season are to win the NJAC tournament, to return back to the regions, win that, and then go to Texas Tyler and win this year.
So obviously, just listening to that, these girls have a goal in mind, right? We spoke a while back. You said that you know, you were very lucky. You have a lot of returning players, and then you filled in with some other players. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I have a group that has played in the finals of Division III, the national tournament, for the past 2 seasons.
Right.
So that kind of experience, you just can't get that by practicing and playing your regular season conference games, although our conference, the New Jersey Athletic Conference, is a very strong conference. So I think it does prepare you for postseason play. The thing is, and I laugh when I hear some of the comments from that first video, is every team that we played last season, didn't matter where they were, because we were ranked, came at us very strong.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
And it was an A game. We had to play an A game against everybody. You could not.
Because they were all bringing their A game.
Yeah, you couldn't fall asleep at all. There's no hiccups allowed, and so that has to do with it. We could hit. We could hit last year. We could hit this year, but can we hit under pressure? What do you do to compose yourself? So those are some of the other tools I'm trying to implement to produce more runs, play solid defense, and just do a little bit better job this year.
So you know you're going out there with a target on your back already, so everybody's going to come at you.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about Alex Hill. She's your pitcher, and in softball, the one thing you need is solid pitching. I mean, you can bunt your way on base, you can slap your way on base or whatever, right? Without that pitching, You're done.
Alex Hill is a competitor. She always has been. When she came in as a freshman, we had to make a couple of adjustments to her body alignment, her pitching style, and then once those adjustments were made, the rest of it was on her, and her success, it speaks for itself. She, I believe in the concept of synergy, so Alex Hill, All-American pitcher, academic All-American, great, but without 8 other people on that field with her, she doesn't win as many games. She led, last year, she led the country. That's across NCAA Division I, II, and III with wins.
Wow.
The country.
That's pretty impressive. I wasn't aware of that.
You don't do that without scoring a run, and you don't do that without your teammates.
Yeah, of course.
So, and that's the kind of player that Alex is also. She, as much as she's a competitor, she realizes that there's a support staff around her that
Tell me a little bit about that support staff, right? Some of your other players.
I'm going to just briefly go through some of my seniors.
Sure.
Dana Amato at third base. My highlight moment of Dana, what I remember, is we were at the national tournament in Eau Claire, Wisconsin last year, playing against a team that won the national title, so playing against Tufts. It was a battle. We went extra innings. Dana took a outside pitch and hit a laser beam over the right center field fence off their All-American pitcher. So we had 2 All-American pitchers going against one another.
Wow.
For years and years and years, Dana could only pull a ball, not hit. So for me as a coach, to see this athlete hit a ball that hard and that far to the right spot, it was a moment of pride for me, and I know how ecstatic she was.
I could imagine, of course, especially in a game like that.
Yeah, she's a very good third baseman. She plays third base, and a very good hitter.
Third base is a dangerous spot in softball.
Yeah, it's a lot better when you have Alex Hill pitching. It's a little bit safer, but it is.
Yeah, because they play very close.
Between the bats and the balls. And the thing in softball now is they've been promoting more offense.
Yeah.
But when you get a hold of a ball that's eye level, your pitcher and your corners are about 35 feet away.
Yeah,
so
right. They're
that's
really close. They're at about the same distance as the pitcher is.
Correct.
Yeah.
Alicia Cumberton is one of the people that spoke in the video. She's the one that she's the one that says everybody on the team that they do have good chemistry. It's just funny sometimes if you're not part of the group and you look at it, you think it's a little bit of a dysfunctional family. But they have their own quirks and they understand each other and they do get along. And I think the key element for that is what I hear is they could go to Sam's place and eat and spend 2 hours at lunch, and not all that's eating time, but because they enjoy each other's company, and that's a plus. But Alicia's a very good hitter, trying to upgrade her game as a leader behind the plate, and go forward with that. Katie Mugley at second base is also a returner senior who we're relying on her with her bat also, and she came on last year, and she's doing a good job right now making adjustments for us.
Right. So it's got to be great to have so many returning players. It's,
yeah, but then you asked before about new people contributing. I think there will be new people contributing. Brooke Powers, she's playing outfield for me. She also pitches. I have a player who played last year, Allie Cullen, she was a transfer last year, but she's a pitcher who also can give me some versatility in the infield. Those kind of players are important to me, and are going to help with our process. Melissa Rustemeyer is another transfer in who I'm expecting really big things from her bat this year. Brianna Davidson is a transfer who, again, has had playing experience at a very good community college and has gone to the national tournament. So not having experience with us, but with other successful programs helps.
Yeah, I would imagine so. We were talking the other day, and you brought up something that I thought was very interesting. Where do these ladies fit in athletically? You know, what is the difference between women's sports and men's sports?
There's a huge difference, and a lot of what you have to understand. I think women want to have some input. They want to be more part of the program as opposed to dictated to. And I run my program not quite a democracy. But I do ask for their input at times. That's why I say to them, when I ask your opinion, you're free to answer whatever you want to answer.
Right.
There's times when I don't ask that I don't care what you say, but I like to try to intertwine them to make them feel like they're part of it, because they are. Without them, I don't have 758 wins.
Yeah.
You have to get great coaches to help you out. You have to have the players that have the ability, and then be able to train them. And I think that's something through the years. I don't think I've been the best recruiter through the years. I think I've been okay. I've gotten some good athletes in here and there, but I think.
Wait, you can't say that after the winning percentage.
Listen to me. You got to hear me out. I think one thing that I excel in is development. I could develop a player, and so it's great to have somebody that comes in and you raise the bar. But I've had, Alex Hill is a great example. She was a good high school pitcher, but this is the comment that I'll never forget is when her summer ball travel team coach said to me, "I think she'll be able to play some third base and be a good hitter for you. I don't think you're going to get much out of her as a pitcher."
Really?
That's a quote.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
And believe me, when I say him, I keep reminding him that he said that. So.
I've got some questions along those lines, but we're going to save that for a little bit later on. Women's sports has changed drastically over the years. 20, 30 years ago, there was no softball, right? Now there's softball, obviously. There's women's soccer at a very young age, 6, 7, 8 years old. I mean, the entire sport for women has changed, right? What do you think that's done for the development of players?
Two things. I think it's helped in many ways, and I think it's given a burnout rate in other ways. So, when I was younger, I was one of the first people that started playing. I grew up in Newark, New Jersey, the Vailsburg section of Newark, and I was one of the first players on. It was called UVSL, Unified Vailsburg Softball Organization. I would go to the park and see Little League baseball played for years and years and years.
Right.
So I was on one of the first organized teams, different than it is now. You have organized travel teams for 6, 7-year-olds.
Yeah, you do.
Coming through the ranks.
Absolutely.
So it does help, because I'm running, on Sunday I'm running a clinic. And at this clinic, I have 8-year-olds coming, and I have 17, 18-year-olds coming, and they'll do the same stations.
Right.
So if you're a 8-year-old doing, a tee hitting drill, by the time you're 14, 15, you're going to be that much better in regard to it. They say the people that have shown the most success have logged in 10,000 hours of quality time, and not just in sports, and whatever your area of expertise is. So if you're starting at an early age, you're going to start logging those quality hours.
You'd start logging them early on, and you mentioned it before, burnout, right? You can log those 10,000 hours before you're even 16, right? And then what happens?
From a collegiate standpoint, I'm competitive, but I try to keep it fun, because you spend too many hours a week, too many weeks in a year doing something that if you're not having fun with it, boy, does it drag you down physically and mentally.
But I mean, it's gotten to the point where, they're going to burn out before they even get to you, right?
Yeah, that's a player that's hard to motivate, though, and so I'm almost better off cutting the anchor before the ship sails.
Yeah, okay, I got it.
So to speak, because there's nothing that I can do. It's a lot of that is intrinsic, and if they don't have the intrinsic motivation to want to be the best they could be at something, I don't know if there's anybody out there that can give that to them. If you're a professor in a class and the student doesn't want to come to your class, there's only so much you could do.
Right.
To teach them.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. At some point, even though you've been doing it for so long, you've got to have that drive internally to keep going. Right? Bats.
You need them. They're expensive.
Yeah, they're expensive. People tend to play with bats a lot, and what I'm talking about is retuning them.
Rolling, shaving.
Rolling, shaving.
All that.
Yeah.
You have to know what the scammers are doing so that you could see it. I had a situation a couple of years ago where it was I was on the NCAA Rules Committee when the Rules Committee started, so I was one of the original writers of the NCAA softball rules book. So I've been staying on top of my game in regard to knowledge of the rules. And so a few years ago, playing somebody who takes a check swing, ball hits off the fence, happens to throw the bat in front of me, and so I pick it up because I'm just speculating.
You're right.
And then I pick it up, and now I know it's illegal. Because you could tell by the flex in it, you could tell by the feel of it.
Right.
And I had a really difficult time going and continuing to play that game because of the safety of my team. And it was a road game, so it got complicated.
Can't you have the bat ejected?
You have to have the support of the umpire.
Right.
And when you're on the road, you don't always have that.
Oh.
Rules are modified, and one person's opinion, and you expect everybody to have be on the same level of knowledge, and that is not necessarily true either.
No.
So, but bats, there are some bats that, you want to have the bat that can perform the best.
Right.
But sometimes when I'm in a practice environment, we have our bats that we use for live hitting versus our bats that we use for something else. And because you have to break them in, but you don't want to break them.
Right. No, I completely got it. Most players carry 2 to 3 bats.
They're a very precious commodity.
Yeah. It's like, no, that's my bat.
I also have, it's interesting too, but I have a machine that tests bats. Because
how?
It tests the compression. So you put the barrel in.
Okay.
And it's like, it has a gauge monitor to see if a bat's hot or not. So even before I play, I test my bats to make sure they're in. And I tell you, once I tested a bat that was out of, supposedly a hot bat, I couldn't hit the ball any further with that bat than any other. So the machine was saying one thing, and my physical ability was saying something totally different.
So how many other coaches do that? I mean, you sound like you really care about the value of the game, right? Are other coaches like you? The majority of them like you?
I think people, people are different. And I care about rules, and I care about values. And if I'm going to a tournament that I know that a bat's going to be taken out because it's going to test bad, I want to know before I go. And they have been testing bats at the regional and national level. When I play my first 10 games in Florida, they test bats down there. So I don't want to bring bats with me that are not going to be legal to play with. The tricky part of bats in the past couple of years is a bat can break in, so it could be normal and break in hot.
Yeah.
And unless you have a tester, I don't know how you would know that. And it's not people doing things illegal. There are some leagues in the northern part of the state of New Jersey that used to do incredible things, in men's leagues, incredible things to bats that you wouldn't even believe. So I'm not even talking that. I'm talking people that didn't really know that their bat that was within the compliance of testing now became too hot.
Yeah, no, it's
it's always intrigued me. It's interesting to me, and that's probably why I've kept on top of the knowledge.
Yeah, you have to. You have to. It's funny that you said in northern New Jersey. There's
I'm sure it happens in southern New Jersey too. My knowledge base is, I know for a fact I could incriminate people in the northern part of the state.
But softball has really taken off. I mean, in northern Jersey, there's so many teams. I'm talking more about travel teams, and they're so competitive. Right.
It's like a free agency market out there of people that jump from one team to another. And, you almost lose track. If you're trying to follow a player from their freshman year of high school and you think they're playing for Team X, and all of a sudden, they could be 3 teams later.
Yeah, right.
You really have to keep in contact and know. Another thing that happens right now with travel ball is you have your your red team, your blue team, your green team.
And your gold team.
Your gold, the elite team.
Yes.
So you don't always know, from a recruiting standpoint, who's playing at a tournament that you go say.
Well, Anita, we're going to take a short break,
Okay.
and when we return, we've got a big surprise for you.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
Attention anyone involved in construction, demolition, or rebuilding after Hurricane Sandy. It's vitally important that the work is done safely. By law, employers and contractors have a responsibility to protect workers' safety and health. That includes obeying legal standards for proper scaffolding and ladders, fall protection, trenches that won't collapse, prevention of electric shock, and exposure to toxic substances. Workers have a legal right to help from government inspectors if they're concerned about safety and health hazards, or are facing discrimination or punishment for raising concerns about unsafe conditions. To find out more about workers' legal rights and employers' responsibilities and about preventing construction hazards, go to saferaftersandy.org or call 1-800-321-OSHA. Once again, that's saferaftersandy.org, 1-800-321-6742. This message brought to you by the New Jersey Work Environment Council.
So, Anita, before the commercial, I said we have a special surprise for you, right? I want to bring out somebody that you know for a long, long time, right? It's your friend and your former teammate, Robin Payne.
Wow. Oh. Robin's the reason that I knew you were here. Hi. Nice to see you. Hi. Nice to see you.
Robin,
Welcome.
nice to see you.
Yeah.
Welcome.
This
Thank
beautiful
you for
day in
coming.
the neighborhood. Hi, Nick. How are you?
Good. Well, I got to tell you, it's a lot better than having all that snow, right?
Yeah.
So, Robin, thank you for coming. You and Anita played ball together. You guys won the NCAA for Trenton.
We won the first national title for Trenton, NCAA Division III softball at Trenton State.
Right.
So Robin was a pitcher.
Yes, I know. We've talked about this in the past. Now, you're a coach. Robin, you develop players, right? And I want to talk a little bit about the recruitment process, right? Now, you both know that I've coached at travel level and stuff like that. As a travel coach, you know, I get the parents that always tell me, you know, my daughter's a D1 pitcher. No, not really. But, you know, you do run across certain players that you feel have a potential. What is the best way to get a coach's attention, right? Are you more apt to listen to the travel coach? Are you more apt to listen to somebody like Robin that develops players, or the high school coach?
I listen to people. So, but I also try to go and see, because what talent level is for Robin may be a little bit different than what I may be looking for. So you take any leads wherever you could get them, in my opinion, and go from there. We're in a day and age of technology, though. People don't like to pick up the phone and call anymore. Everything is emailing, and you get inundated. You don't understand the volume of emails coaches get. So when there's a voice or somebody else behind that email, it really, truly helps me in regard to seeing, finding talent.
So Robin, you become that voice? Yeah?
I'm the voice, but I want to see, I'll go out. I don't think high school softball is as strong as it used to be, but I'll be the person that goes to a high school game just to get that high school opinion, perspective, and to know what league they're in and the competition that they're facing. Because some of these high school leagues in general are horrific.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'm the one saying, this kid's got potential or this kid doesn't. And then the parents come to me and say, well, where do you think she fits in? And I'm one of those people, you know, I tell you like it is.
Yeah.
I'm going to say your kid's a D1 player, your kid's a D3 player. Maybe she should go to club ball, you know.
Yeah, right.
But, you know, I also agree that this travel team situation is a beast in itself, because it's basically, and I hate to say this again, it's all daddy ball. That's why these kids are traveling to 3 different teams, because they want their kid to play, but they don't really have it in their head to know they're not that good. That's why they're not playing.
Yeah.
Or daddy's daughter is the one that's the pitcher, even though you have another ace on the team, that this kid's going to pitch and not you. Yeah. So understand the travel team that you're getting to first, and at what age level they should be playing travel ball, because Why am I spending $9,000 or $3,000 a year for a 9-year-old?
Right.
And I tell them, do you understand that if you start doing this now, she's going to be doing it up till her senior year in high school. You could be legitimately paying for that first year of college education.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not cheap.
And it's also
no doubt.
burnout. You hit the money. You know, I have kids, I can't even tell you how many kids, by the time they're finished high school, put their cleat down and say, I'm not playing. Yeah. And it's breaking mommy and daddy's heart because they just funded all this money and now the child is done.
Yeah. There's a website that it's Jersey-based, right? And they recruit players, they trash players. It's amazing. I stopped reading it because I couldn't stand. People just were trashing 16-year-olds, right?
But people hide behind social media, and people hide websites like that. It's you know, you have something to say. We're a little bit more old school. That talk to me, say it to my face, kind of. You know, not to be confrontational, but a lot of people are Instagram and Twitter, and it just doesn't let you have the accountability that you want. But there's also a lot of great players out there also that can be developed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're running a little bit out of time, so final question. Your season runs concurrent to the high school season, right? Mm-hmm. So you're coaching, you can't be out there also recruiting. How do you eventually figure it out?
You hope a high school team does well enough so that they're playing in games that I can see, and also I rely on travel ball, and I rely on something a little bit different is I'll go to a travel ball practice. So you have tournaments, you have practices, you have people taking private lessons. You have to be creative with seeing players and knowing what you're getting as a hopefully potential student athlete.
Yeah, and it's a challenge.
It is a challenge.
So listen, I want to thank the both of you for being here. Robin, it's great to see you. It's been a while since I've seen you. Anita, I'm so very happy that you and I met. Look forward to seeing you coach this year.
I got the call from Robin. You got to make a call. That's what she said. A friend of mine's there. So
that's wonderful.
It was a great call.
Yeah. So anyway, good luck this season, and I'll see you at some of the games.
Great.
If you would like more information about the women's softball at Montclair, visit the website, montclairathletics.com. For more about Carpe Diem, you can write to us at the email address on your screen, carpediem@mail.montclair.edu, or call us at 973-655-5158. For Carpe Diem, I'm Nick Zanis. Thanks for watching.